Hey there people, Cariocekus here, back with another review, and in this one I'm taking a look at the Pathless, a game from the same studio that brought us Abzu, and just like Abzu, this one is also a very relaxing experience, while at the same time having combat in it. This video ends up being helpful, give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe for more videos like this one, and I also stream over on Twitch where I play a variety of games and everybody's welcome there. Links in the video description down below if you want to check it out. And now, let's jump into the video and see what is the Pathless. This one has a heavy focus on exploration. The HUD is very light, there's no map, no compass, just a little bar, but the zones do have landmarks that you will use to navigate and explore. With the focus on exploration, clearing a zone does have its benefits. You can get extra flaps for your eagle buddy or a passive that continuously restores your sprint meter, for example. All of these making it easier to run around and explore. With all this emphasis on exploration and running around, movement is kind of a big deal. But how do you move in this? Well, it's mostly by sprinting and jumping, but spread out in the map there are little flying talismans that you can shoot, and these actually do restore your sprint meter and give you a little speed boost if you're on the ground or while jumping. And very early on you also meet your little eagle buddy. It will follow you around, help out with the puzzles by having him carry around some weights or moving things into place, and you can also use him to glide and reach higher spots. Okay, let's talk about shooting in combat, because this one does actually have combat, but it's only on boss fight. There are no smaller enemies. Aiming is also done differently. At first, it was a bit strange, but I got used to it after a few minutes. You don't have a crosshair, so the game does the aiming for you. You look in the general direction of your target, and most of the time it picks the right target. But I did notice in some situations I had to move the character and very gently the camera as well, until it chose the one that I actually wanted. This was most noticeably on the bell puzzles, where it makes you shoot the bells in a specific order. Sometimes it would lock onto the wrong one because they were all together. Another situation where it picked the wrong target was in the first round of the boss fights, where you are running after the boss shooting talismans for speed and have to target little eyes on the boss's body. It would sometimes pick a talisman over an eye. The boss fights do get more complex as you progress through the game, but nothing major. It's always about timing your jumps and shooting when the lock-on icon shows up. I'm not entirely sure you can die in the game. You just get knocked back and continue on fighting. There is no fall damage as well. It's a very forgiving game with no real repercussions for messing things up. The game also has a lot of puzzles. You have shooting the bells in a specific order, as I mentioned before. There's the classic pressure plate where you have to use weights to unlock a specific door, and shooting puzzles where you have to shoot your arrows through a flame to light up a set of braziers. As you progress, they start mixing up the pressure plates with the shooting, making them a bit more interesting. Visually, it uses the same art style as Abzu, just has more polygons, and it looks good. This style ages very well, and even if you play the game in a few years, it will still look good and have its charm. The world does feel a bit empty though, but you will get an odd animal here and there, and they will sometimes run next to you while you're just running around. I had no issues running the game, no sudden dips on frame rate or game crashes. In the options menu you get standard options, nothing too crazy, but it's good to see that they're actually here. And one slightly annoying thing is I couldn't change any of the options while in game. I had to go back into the main menu if I wanted to adjust something. And yes, I did play this on the PC. And the system spec wise, I'm gonna pop it up on the screen so you guys can see. Okay, let's move on to the sound. The music is one of the stars in the game. It's beautiful. They really know when to bring up the intensity, especially in the boss fights. And they also know when to have it be super mellow. It creates the perfect atmosphere while playing. It's one of the things that stand out, and the music will be one of the first things that I bring up when I am talking about this game. Story-wise, without spoiling anything, the bad man wants to kill the gods, you are there to stop him. While exploring, you do get some extra bits of lore. You will find some skeletons that have little blue balls floating above them. When you interact with these, they open up some more backstory on that specific area, or about the big baddie. These do help give more context to what is happening in the world and why it is happening, but even if you miss these, you will still know all the important parts of the game's story. Replayability wise, I don't really see a reason to replay through the game, especially immediately after you finish it, because there are no customization options, there's no different ways of playing through it. And if you're like me and you like exploring and take your time during your first playthrough, you might end up finding most of the things spread out throughout the map. While I ended up liking the game more than I expected, I know this game will not be for everyone, and that's okay. It's a slow game with a lot of walking, exploring, and puzzles. For some people, they might find the game boring because of these. It can also get a bit repetitive, because the actions you will be doing to clear a zone will mostly be the same. But if you enjoyed games like Abzu or Journey, you might like this one, and it will feel familiar and new at the same time. That's going to be it for Pathless, a super chill game that looks good and has fantastic music. It's a different experience in a world of shooters. And if this video was helpful, do give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe for more. I also do stream over on Twitch where I play a variety of games. If you want to check it out, links in the video description down below. Everybody's welcome. And as always, thanks for watching, stay safe, and drink your water.